Remember those days when you bought a game, played through it, and then moved on? Somehow they seem to be over. Before I tell you why developers don't want you to finish their games anymore, if you enjoy my videos, please hit subscribe and consider giving me some feedback. I really appreciate both. If you consider yourself a gamer, chances are that you also have a so-called pile of shame. A bunch of awesome games just sitting on your shelves or in your virtual library that you just haven't found the time to play yet. It's a phenomenon in every medium of the modern age. Music, movies, books, everything gets produced faster and we are flooded with tons of things we want to consume, but it's more than we actually can consume. In the last couple years, a new type of game found its way onto this pile. The ones you never finished. And I don't mean the projects that never leave early access, but rather the ones you played and enjoyed, but eventually just put aside. Games differ from other mediums in the time they need to be fully consumed. A song, for example, will cost you a couple minutes. A movie, about 1.5 hours. Books generally take longer, but they are still consumed faster than a AAA blockbuster video game. And that's of course what developers want. They want to give you an enjoyable experience and make you stick to a game as long as possible. So you're more likely to buy DLCs or expansions. Just look at MMO giant World of Warcraft. It's been running for about 15 years now, and not every player is happy with the newest content. But a lot of people stick with it because they already spent so much time and money on it that stopping now would feel like all of that was wasted. This phenomenon even has a name. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. Nowadays, subscription-based games are rare. But more and more games go down the games as a service route. Players are accustomed to the fact that there will be future content in almost any given game. The development no longer ends with the release. And that doesn't have to be bad. If I enjoy a game, obviously I'm okay with paying more to continue this enjoyment. But of course, the concept also gets abused. Cutting out missions, maps or characters and later releasing them for the low price of $9.99 or something like that is not okay. Video games are an ebb and flow business. A release means a lot of income, but then there is nothing till the next release. Or rather, there was nothing, because that's where microtransactions and DLCs came in. Production of AAA games gets more and more expensive. And the trickle income through cosmetics or episodic content makes it possible that games themselves don't have to rise in price all that much. So, keeping a game alive and relevant as long as possible generates the revenue to tide a studio over till the next release. Video games have a rather short lifespan in an insanely competitive environment. If a company isn't steadily producing quality content that earns money, they are done. Mass layoffs of employees are becoming more and more common. But the concept of never-ending games full of microtransactions comes with its own unique issues. Look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example. I'm the first to say that it is a fantastic game with actually good DLCs. But after a while, the boatload of things to do was crushing my excitement to play, because I knew that it would take me ages to finish everything. The problem is, there are so many other interesting things to play, and obviously also this often overlooked thing called real life. The market is flooded with hundreds of awesome games, and longer, in my opinion, really no longer equals better. Studios are still counting on people wanting the whole experience, but they might have to start reconsidering this idea. I am a completionist at heart. And still, over the last couple years, I find myself putting aside great but unfinished games more and more often. And to be honest, it makes me like gaming a little less. Working in this insanely fast-paced industry, it's sometimes really hard to spend even just the appropriate time with a game to write an article or make a video about it. I still love me some RPG with a gigantic open world, but the busier life gets, the more I enjoy games that tell a complete story, or just allow me to escape reality for a couple hours. Seeing the credits roll is something I really learned to appreciate. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Hope your day's as good as gold. See you next time.